Hi, we're backstage at the Trevor Berbick Theater. This is where we tape the Chris Rock show. You know, this old studio is steeped in tradition. Oh, let me check out my old pictures. Boy, who could forget the time all the Wayans brothers stopped by? Oh, that Marlon sure is funny. Ah, my first writing staff. You know, they really wanted to get to know the black experience, so I fired them. And how can I forget the night Marion Barry guest hosted the show? Ooh, I caught a lot of flack for that, but hey, Chris stands by his friends. A lot of people don't know this, but I'm the second Chris Rock. You know, like they had two Lionels on the Jeffersons? Here's the original Chris. He drowned in a vat of activator. Hey! Who can forget the night OJ came by to sell his new instructional videotape? I didn't kill my wife, but if I did, here's how I did it. Crazy. Hey, wait a minute. First Chris Rock show. Hey, let's watch this. Chris Rock #1.
From New York City, it's the Chris Rock Show. Tonight, Johnny Cochran. Plus, musical director, Grandmaster Flash. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Rock!
What's up? Thank everybody for coming out to my show. Fun to be doing a show in New York, New York, New York, the home of the crack priest. That's right, we got a crack priest in New York. It's like, you know what I'm talking about. The priest was recently caught smoking crack while writing a sermon. I'm not even making this up. Now, what the hell does a crack sermon sound like? And on the 6th day, God created crack. And on the 7th day, he sold his VCR. Okay, we got to talk about OJ. Have to talk about OJ. Now, OJ, you know what happened. He's getting ready to lose a lot of money. You know, you lose a lot of money, he might have to move back with his mother. Because he might lose his house. Now, you know, his mother's an old lady. She's too old to be picking up behind OJ. He's like, oh, OJ, is this your blood? Has been playing a lot of golf lately, but now he's like complaining like he can't play at the posh country clubs anymore. No, I read in the paper where he said he has to play at a public course in a bad neighborhood. I've never heard of a golf course in a bad neighborhood, okay? If you got that much grass, you live in a pretty good neighborhood. The big issue on Ebonics. Ebonics, big in the news. Ebonics, everybody, you know, they say there's two ways of speaking. There's two ways of talking. Yeah, there's two ways. One way if you want a job. And that other way. My man, Dennis Rodman has been reinstated into the NBA. As you know, he's coming back. Now, as you know, Dennis had to pay a photographer $200,000 when he fell out of bounds, you know, and kicked the cameraman. Now, in the old days, cameramen would get out the way. Now, when the cameraman sees somebody coming, they just take the charge. That's why the women's NBA is starting up. They got a whole women's thing going on. And like, yeah, it's cool. They got all the women players, all the big ones from the Olympics are signed up, and they're going to get everything that the male NBA players get. They're going to get $1 million shoe contracts. They're going to get endorsements. They're going to get white girls. joined the Marines. Riddick Bowe joined the Marines. Well, that's some ass whooping. You get your ass whooped so bad, I'm gonna sign up for the Marines. You know, how they gonna treat Riddick Bowe in the Marines? Riddick Bowe got like $100 million. $100 million. Like, Riddick, drop down, give it 20. Not 20, it's push up $20,000. Speaking of boxing, Mike Tyson, my man Mike, turned down an offer to endorse St. Ives malt liquor. St. Ives malt liquor. And Mike said, hey, that's how I got fucked up the first time. Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming out. I want you to give it up for Grandmaster Flash. Every black neighborhood has a Martin Luther King Boulevard or a Malcolm X Boulevard. But there's never been a street named after a slain black icon in a white neighborhood. So what I did, I went to Howard Beach to see if I could get people to sign a petition to rename one of their greatest streets into Tupac Shakur Boulevard. Here's what happened. Look at the screen.
Tell me that he stinks, his music stinks, and I'm not interested in having this boulevard's name changed to a piece of dirt like him.
Pull over here. Pull over here.
Go. What the fuck are you doing? Don't stop for nobody that's not a cop.
Have a good day.
All right.
Enjoy. Any problems, let us know.
We're trying to change our Cross Bay Boulevard into a Tupac Shakur Boulevard. To a Tupac Shakur Boulevard.
Why?
He wants to change Cross Bay into Tupac Shakur Boulevard. Into Tupac Shakur Boulevard. Into Tupac Shakur Boulevard.
But he's dead. He should have died before he was born. He's got nothing better to do.
Are you familiar with Tupac? California.
That's New Jersey.
We're trying to change Cross Bay Boulevard into Tupac Shakur Boulevard.
I don't want to sign it. Sorry. And I liked him. He's a good entertainer.
I like you. Tupac I didn't care for.
Have you ever heard any of Tupac's music? You don't feel that?
I don't know I want to hear of it.
Come on, bop your head.
I think you got some pair of balls that come around a neighborhood like this.
How about Bruce Springsteen Boulevard?
No.
How about Neil Diamond Boulevard?
No.
Eric Clapton Boulevard?
No.
Do you remember Olivia Newton-John?
Olivia Newton-John.
How about Frank Sinatra?
What if it was Frank Sinatra Boulevard?
That'd be a different story, right?
No, not Frank Sinatra.
Residents of Howard Beach Unite, support Tupac Shakur Boulevard.
Oh, I think we want to change the street now.
Great.
Let's change the name.
All right, what the hell? Yeah, we're almost there. And all the good people at Death Row Records for letting us use that music. Yes. Okay, yes. Now, our first guest tonight is recognized as one of the top defense attorneys in the world. Please welcome the Michael Jordan of the Dream Team, Mr. Johnny Cochran.
I'm glad to be here. I'm not Johnny Cochran anymore. I'm the lawyer formerly known as Johnny Cochran. I'm going to say that
Okay. Let me ask you this. Okay, does OJ owe you any money?
Let's see. I think he owes me about $8.6 million. I think, but no, I'm only kidding. No.
You're slightly kidding.
I'm kidding. I'm only kidding.
Well, you better kid him because you never know what might happen.
I'm only kidding.
Yo, man, you're like an idol to me. I mean, you are, first of all, forget the OJ thing. You got Todd Bridges shot at somebody 8 times, you got them all. Michael Jackson had a kid sleeping in his house. You talk to somebody, he's a free man. I mean, but you don't, after this trial, people got so mad at you, and they didn't give you the respect you would do. I mean, Marcia Clark got a bigger book deal than you. You're kind of like Joe Frazier after he beat Ali. It's like he won, but no, I guess he did. Everybody talks about race in the whole trial. Do you think looks had anything to do with it? Because OJ was a good-looking guy now.
Well, I've had cases where good-looking defendants.
Yes.
I once had a case where we had pictures of the defendant in his briefs.
Really?
And you should have seen the jury. They were mesmerized by the pictures of this man.
Really?
And so looks have something to do with it.
Was it a football player?
I represent a couple of football players.
Really?
Yes, Jim Brown.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, man. You was like him. You rep Jim Brown, too?
Yes,
you was like when he threw a white girl out the window?
Well, I didn't. No, that was just an allegation.
That was just an allegation? Oh, okay. Because some people think they can fly. And if she thought she could fly, and my client just happened to be behind her. Why should he do any time, Your Honor? If she can't fly, don't ask me why. Oh, man. So, I'm just so on yours, man. Now, do you think, okay, on the serious side, do you think it's possible for a poor man to get a fair trial in this country?
It's real hard for a poor man to get a fair trial, Chris. I mean, there's no question about it. If you don't have the finances to level the playing field, prosecution has all the resources, and it's very difficult. It's one of the things we ought to address in this country, to have adequate resources for everybody so everybody can get a fair trial.
When was the last time you represented a poor man?
Oh, yeah, I have lots of, we talk all the time. You hear about the MJs and the OJs, but I love representing the no-Js, people you never heard of. Those are my favorite clients, absolutely, no question about it.
Wow, I got a couple of cousins that may need your help.
Right.
Now, you went after, your big thing is going after police departments. That's your thing. And I remember in our pre-interview thing, you said, years ago, no, it was unheard of to go after a police department.
When we first started trying cases of police brutality, nobody in L.A. had ever won a case, ever. And now, it's commonplace now. Because, see, people wanting to bury their heads in sand. Police do a fine job in most communities, but not all police always tell the truth, and sometimes they beat people up. And so we tried to argue this for years, and now we've demonstrated that. And I think it's made for better police departments, and it's made for a better society. People should stop burying their heads in the sand.
Now, what was the craziest, what was one of the, just give me an example of police brutality that no one would ever think would happen.
Well, I was trying a case of a client who, basically, the police broke his neck. And it was a real sad case. This man had 8 children. In the course of the trial, the lawyer for the county of Los Angeles was going to demonstrate, they hogtied this man. And he was going to demonstrate for the jury how that wasn't so bad to be hogtied, where you have your hands behind your back and you have your legs cuffed and you hook them together. And he allowed himself to get on the table in the trial to be hogtied. After a while, he turned so red he could hardly talk. And I just pointed, I said, "That's exhibit number 1, ladies and gentlemen." And it was so graphic. Even he learned how tough it was.
Wow, man. Oh, and today that guy's a rich man. And so is Johnny.
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, I saw you in Jet, man. You had a Rolls Royce before OJ, man. Living good, man. So now, let me address. Do you think that the media and the country has treated you unfairly?
Well, you know, I accept what takes place, but I mean, let me put it this way, that I think that if, under the circumstances, there are a lot of people in the media who prejudged the Simpson case, and they prejudged everything we did. And I think that if I were white, it would have been a different situation. I really do. And so, you know, you might as well tell the truth about it, you know.
If you were white, you'd be like Tom Cruise in a firm.
That's right, that's right.
Been the man. Oh, my God, man. So what's next for Johnny Cochran?
Well, a couple of things. I'm going to be appearing at Madison Square Garden with a talk on justice on March. No, we'll be singing on March 8th. I've got my own show now, Cochran and Grace, each night at 10 o'clock on Court TV. And the most important thing for me right now is I have a client, Geronimo Pratt, former Black Panther leader, who was convicted 25 years ago in July of 1972, and he's innocent, a victim of the FBI's counterintelligence program. On February 27th, I'm going to California to argue a motion for new trial for him, and if we get it, we're going to try that case and get him out after all these years. Yeah. That's my passion.
Mr. Johnny Cochran,
My pleasure.
thank you for being here. I hope I never need you.
October 16, 1995, the Million Man March. If you want to relive that great day on the Washington Mall, here's your chance. Million Man Mint presents Million Man Action Figures. Million Man Action Figures are plastic replicas of each and every man that attended the Million Man March. There's Leon from Atlanta, Andre from Compton, Cedric from Memphis, Mario, Keith, Rome, Lil Bit, Snoop, and many more. Million Man Action Figures are just $1.99 each. Collect the whole set. Here's all you do. Each month we'll send you 50,000 Million Man figures. If you want them, do nothing. You'll be billed later. If you decide not to keep them, simply return them. You pay only the shipping. And if you act now, you'll get the brother in the lime green suit absolutely free. If you were anywhere near the Chicken Shack on Martin Luther King Avenue, you couldn't miss it. Be a part of history. Order your Million Man Action Figures today. To order the Million Man Action Figures, dial 1-500-987-6543. That's 1-600-345-6789. Have your credit card ready. Million Man Women sold separately.
In recent years, Americans have become fascinated with court cases like O.J., the Menendez brothers. So in keeping with that, we have our own legal correspondent, Mr. Coleman Brooks. Hello, Coleman.
How you doing, Chris?
So, Coleman, what sort of case are you following this week?
Chris, it's an armed robbery of a convenience store at the corner of Hillside and 89th Street in Queens, New York.
Really? Now, what's the big deal about a holdup?
Well, Chris, this case could have larger ramifications.
Like what?
Like I could do 10 years.
Wait, hold up a minute. You could do 10 years?
Chris, the prosecution alleges that a black man matching my description entered the mini-mart in question brandishing a .45 caliber handgun, making off with some $87. He was later arrested after spending the money on several vials of crack cocaine.
So what are you claiming about these charges?
They're preposterous, Chris. I've been off the pipe for a week.
Right. So, Coleman, now let me get this straight. What is the prosecution basing their case on?
Their key piece of evidence is this piece of videotape from the surveillance camera at the mini-mart in question.
Wait a minute. That was you, Coleman.
Chris, allegedly. But the defense intends to prove a prima facie case that the defendant was a victim of entrapment.
Coleman, how the hell was that entrapment?
Well, Chris, there was a store with money in it. I was broke. Therefore, the store was entrapping me into coming in and robbing it.
Yeah, but what about the video?
Keep in mind, Chris, it's a very short piece of video footage, and it's shot at a distance of some 9 feet.
Yeah, but Coleman, if they slow it down and enlarge it, there'll be no mistaking that was you.
Allegedly, Chris. What if they speed it up and shrink it? You can barely make me out.
Why the fuck would they do that? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Coleman, I thought you were a legal expert.
Allegedly, Chris, once again.
Thanks, Coleman. We'll get back to you.
Thank you.
Hey, Hey, Conan.
Hey, Chris, congratulations. That was great.
Oh, man, I'm glad you can make it.
Yeah, your first talk show. I was watching it. I gotta say, you really earned your wings out there.
You know, that means a lot coming from you.
All right, well, let's get this over with, okay? All right.
Ah! God! Oh, come on!